second project from our gorgeous Melody collection. We're going to use the harmony frame again, but you know, you could swap them round with viola, entirely up to you. But I'm just going to show you how beautifully these dies cut. So this is my harmony frame, and I'm going to pop that onto my magnetic sheet. And I've picked out one of the extra mats as well, and I'm going to pop that on there. And this is just going to be covered with my cardstock, so we can then just pop that over there. Now it's a detailed die, so I'd suggest you use something like your cut tidy, and then you just use your sandwich plate that works for your die cutting machine. So for the Pro Cut, it's a 3 and a 5mm plate with your magnetic sheet together as well, and that's going to be the perfect combination. So that's just going to pop through there, and this is going to give me 2 die cuts in one go. So we can pull that big stretch out of there, and that's going to go out of there, and then, so I don't need that piece, but that does make a pretty frame, doesn't it? And then we've got the lovely frame just here. Now, because we've used cut tidy, can you see all the little bits have popped out as well, and they're all stuck nicely on my cut tidy. Oh, and then that middle piece I cut, I've also got cut just there, and those are the pieces that we're going to use. So what I've got here is, you remember on the first card we cut the over the edge into the edge of our cardstock. This time I've just cut it into a piece of white card, and then we've just inked all the way around the edges. I've still cut into this card using the harmony frame, and again we've got some inking going on just there. So we can then take our cardstock. So this time, instead of using green, we're going to use this lovely rusty red colour, and that's going to go on the inside, and we can pop that on there. And then, where's it gone? There we are. We're then going to pop this white piece with that beautiful inking on there just on the inside. So it's a different way to use it. So they don't always have to be over the edge. This could be over the top. You could cut this and fold it back, and that could be your card base. You know, there are so many different ways to use it. I didn't put any glue on there at all. I completely missed gluing that bit. I was too busy talking, getting carried away, thinking of all the different ways to use the die, and then I just stopped gluing. There we go. So that's now created my card base, but you can see this sort of mirrors that shape. Now what I've got here is I've taken a strip of my beautiful paper. Isn't that gorgeous, with the roses running down the side and also the musical notes as well, and that's going to go just on the front. And you see, to balance it all out, what we've done is I've taken that, I put a couple of pearl drops up at the top right hand corner, and I put a couple at the bottom left, and that means that everything then just balances perfect. So I'm going to take my foundation die. I can now see a little bit of that tear to give me that lovely shabby look, but also I've got the inking around the edges just to enhance the look of everything. So that's going to go around there, and then we can pop that onto there. So then we want to take our beautiful detail, and we've got that there, and we can pop it just on there. I've got a spare one there. I end up with quite a few every time that I do these. So we can pop that all the way around here. Little bit of glue. Now if you want to, you could use a spray glue on here. I know some people like to use sticky dots on a tape pen. They find that easier for doing things like this. You could put something like your, the word I'm looking for, is your sticky roll on the back of your cardstock before you cut it, and then when you peel it off, you will have perfect adhesive background. There are so many ways you can do this. Now this little centre that we got out of there, I have put some foam pads on the top just to give it a bit of lift. Remember, we do like to add shape and texture and dimension at every opportunity, and carefully did it so that that flower is sitting just there. Although most of it's going to be covered up, but I did think it would still look nice to be showing through. So we've now cut the middle piece, the middle decorative icon, in white, just to give a bit of contrast, but we don't want pure white. So just like we've done here, I've just inked that as well, just to give a little bit of dimension. Now I need to get my dies so we can remember what we've got. We had the Songbird collection here. We also had, get it right, there we are. We also had the Heavenly Harp, and we also had the gorgeous gramophone. So I have cut the gramophone out twice. There we go. I've also cut the songbirds, but I've split them. So if they were like that, and I've split those, and I've cut the one off the top, and I've also cut the flowers off from the harp as well. And we're going to use all of those elements. So what I need to do now is I'm going to look at my gramophone, and I think the bit nearest to me is this piece down here. So I'm going to trim this out. I'm going to trim that down like that, and I'm going to trim it just there. And that's going to create my own decoupage. And I'm going to pop my gramophone onto the front. So I just think this has got this beautiful vintage look about it. So we're just working with that aged vintage look and making the most of that. So we can pop that on the front. Then we can take our decoupage element that we've created ourselves, and that's going to go on there. So we're always looking at the bit that's going to be furthest forward, so we don't need that. Then I'm going to look at my bird. So he's then sitting next to the gramophone. Just tuck that under. If you wanted, you could pop, don't want that one, don't need that one. So I'm then going to get my beautiful roses, and they could then, I don't think I need those. I think that's a bit overkill. No, I think that's going to be all right. So what I've got next, I told you, every time I put these together, I change my mind as I'm doing it. We can pop that on here. I've got my On Your Special Day. Again, I've inked it to make sure it all works together. Get the back off that tape. See, it's moved. Let's put it back in place. And then we can pop that just on there. Now, if you wanted to, we could actually just pop that one, make that into an insert in there. You could, if you wanted to, you could pop that. No, I don't think we do, but you could trim him out and use him. I could have used the flowers. I could have had them running up those borders, but I think that's lovely. I think that has got that lovely aged look about it, and I just love the quirkiness of having the little bird sitting listening to the gramophone.